Hello everyone, this is the second lesson recording for week 4 of distance learning IM1, and we're going to learn about how to graph lines in standard form. What is a standard form? That's when the equation of the line is written in ax plus by is equal to c, where a and b and c are just some numbers. Okay, so up till now, the only way we could graph them was to convert them into y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so let's show that method. Okay, what do we do? Well, we want to isolate y. That means we want to get rid of anything that's around y. So we want to get rid of 3x and we want to get rid of 4. So what we did was we would get rid of the 3x by subtracting 3x from both sides, which leaves me with 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. And then from here, you would say, okay, I don't want this 4, and 4 is multiplying to y, so I'm going to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide each of the term by 4, which leaves me with y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus, what's 12 divided by 4? That's just 3. So then we will get the y-intercept of 3, and then from here, we'll count the slope of negative 3 over 4, so go down by 3, to the right by 4. Here we go. Okay, so where we left, we found our y-intercept of 3, and then counted down 3 because of negative 3 here, and to the right by 4 because of the 4 here. Then put another point here, and then draw a line, and that's our line. Okay? But is there a better way? Is there a quicker way than always doing this? Can we graph from 3x plus 4y is equal to 12 straight away? Well, there is an easier way, and I'm going to be showing you that. Okay? And it is called the cover-up method, and that's basically where you are finding the x and y intercepts. So the goal of this method is to find x and y intercepts. That means from this graph, we're talking about finding the x-intercept or y-intercept and x-intercept. Once you have this x-intercept and y-intercept, you can just join those 2 points. It actually works out that we graph that, but it doesn't always work out this way. So let's do this with 3x plus 4y is equal to 12. It's the same problem as the method that we did with y equals mx plus b. So how to do that? How do we find the x-intercept? So first step, to find x-intercept. Okay, let's think about this. What's special about x-intercept? If you have two numbers, which one of these numbers are 0? I hope you said with x-intercept, y is always going to be 0. Okay, so x-intercept, y value is going to be 0. X-intercept is here. What am I talking about? The y value is always going to be 0. And whereas we have some number for the x. So that means y, we always know that y is going to be 0. So we set the y to be 0 in the equation. So if we set the y to be 0 in the equation becomes 3x plus 4 times, instead of writing y, I am going to put 0, is equal to 12. Then 4 times 0 is just really 0. So you are left with 3x is equal to 12. And then from here, dividing both sides by 3, and you get x is 4. So this automatically tells me that I can go here. I can put that point here. And then second step, we found the x-intercept, we need to find the y-intercept. So to find y-intercept, okay, now let's think about the y-intercept. What's true about y-intercept? In this case, x value is 0. Okay? So, and there's some number for the y-intercept. So we are going to set x to be 0. Okay, so don't get this confused. To find the y-intercept, we set x to be 0. We don't set the y to be 0. We find the opposite, which is the x to be 0. To find the x-intercept, we set the y to be 0. Okay, then we go back to our equation. 3 times x is going to be 0 plus 4y, we don't know what y is going to be 12. So this 3 times 0 is just 0. So that just becomes 4y is 12. Divide both sides by 4 and you get y is equal to 3. Okay, so I know that y is equal to 3, so I can actually now put the y-intercept here, well as the x-intercept I can put over here as well. So then you just put that y is equal to 3, so you put the point there and then draw the line. And that's the method. Okay, so now you might be thinking, hey, this looks like a long process. This looks much easier than this. But I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, it's called covering up. So knowing that because we're setting y to be 0 here to find the x-intercept, we actually cover up. Put your finger here and cover up the y. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, cover it up. Now you're left with 3x is equal to 12. Then from here you can divide both sides by 3 and then you get x to be 4. And you can get this answer really quickly. To find the y-intercept, we set x to be 0. That means we cover up the x value and you are left with 4y is equal to 12. And then you divide both sides by 4 and you get y is 3. Okay, so this is the faster method of doing things than just converting it. Okay, so let's see if we can do another problem. This time I am going to use the covering up, and the covering up method works. Why? Because we are setting the x and y value to be 0. Okay, so graph 5x minus 8y is equal to 20. I don't want to convert it to y is equal to mx plus b. I am going to use the cover up method. Okay, so to find x-intercept, I know the y value is going to be 0. So I put this on the y. You're left with 5x is equal to 20. So 5x is equal to 20. So 5x is equal to 20 and divide both sides by 5 and you get x is 4. Okay, alright, then to find the y-intercept, okay, so I found this to be 4, 0. Okay, to find y-intercept, I am going to set x to be 0 and where there will be some number here, and that means I am going to cover up this. Don't cover up the negative because negative belongs to the 8y. So then you are left with negative 8y is equal to 20. Divide both sides by negative 8. And then you get y is equal to 20. How many 8s go into 20? It goes twice. And you are left with 4/8, which is same as 1/2. So it's negative 2.5. And then from here, I can quickly graph this. Let's draw my x and y intercept. So I find my x-intercept to be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The y-intercept is negative 2.5 is right here. Okay, and then I can just draw a line and it is done. We don't have to convert it to y is equal to mx plus b. And of course, you can use this method when you're doing systems of inequality. You just need to figure out. Okay, so now for example, now let's say that if this, instead of it being equal to, let's say that this was greater than. Let's just change the problem a little bit and see how this problem changes. The y-intercept is going to be the same and x-intercept is going to be the same, but instead, because the inequality is greater than, this line is going to be dashed line, no longer the solid line that we had before. Okay, and we're saying that negative 8y is greater than 20. So you don't, at this point, you don't need to worry about the x because this can go to the other side. So you can cover this up, but you have to deal with the y. And to see if you need to shade above or below the line, you need to be thinking, okay, so negative 8y is greater than 20. Okay, negative 8y is greater than 20. So negative 8, I need to divide both sides by negative 8. If I divide both sides by negative number, what happens to the inequality sign? It flips, so it becomes y is less than some number, so some expression. Y is less than. Okay, so y is less than, we're getting smaller, so that means we're shading below. That's how it will be. Okay, so yes, it is a little bit tricky. It takes a little bit more thinking, but this will be far easier and quicker than converting to y cosine x plus b. All right, so at this point, I'm going to ask you to pause the video and see if you can graph this now. And I am going to go through the work and show you the solution in a minute. Okay, let me start by finding the x-intercept. I am going to set y to be 0. That means I'm going to cover up here. And notice you're going to be left with this expression x4x is equal to 24. So the x is there. That tells you what you're finding. So 4x is 24. Then divide both sides by 4. So then x is 6. Okay? All right. Then to find the y-intercept, I know that it's going to be 0, comma, some number. To find the y-intercept, we set x to be 0. You cover up the x. You are left with 6y is equal to 24. Divide both sides by 6, and you are left with y is equal to 4. Okay, you could even do this all in your head. So then 6, 0, and 0, 4 are my x and y intercepts. Quickly draw my axis. Okay, quickly draw my axis, and I know that 0, 4 is my x-axis, 6, 0 is my on the x-axis, or y x-intercept, I should say. All right, 0, 4, and 6, 0. And then from here, I am going to draw my line. Okay. Now, let's just change the problem a little bit, just like we did before. What if we change this to y is, if it was an inequality instead of equation? Well, it's basically the same thing. The 4x is going to go to the other side, so it does not really matter. You just need to be dealing with 6y is greater than 24. Okay, 6y is greater than 24. It's positive, so we're going to divide both sides by positive 6. So the inequality sign stays the same. So then it becomes y is greater than some expression. Y is greater than, that means we are going to be shading above. So it's going to be shading above. And also, this becomes a dashed line, of course. Okay, so this is just a quick extension work that will be really handy for you in IM2. So thank you for watching. The next lesson recording will be the lesson recording C.